Hi guys, and welcome back to ESL and Eyeshadow. As you can probably tell, tonight is a makeup night. The reason tonight is a makeup night is because unfortunately my little dog isn't very well at the moment and I'm staying in to look after her. I won't leave her on her own. She had to have surgery yesterday and poor little thing is just all sedated and yeah, I'm gonna stay in and look after her. So I thought, seeing as she's asleep, I will do some makeup. And after a quick poll online of some friends, silver and green were the colours that I was given to play with, and this is the result. So to get you started tonight, obviously I've already put my foundation on. Cue card up here for how to apply your foundation flawlessly, and I've already got my masking tape ready because this look takes a little bit and obviously don't want to waste your time. So remember, if you're following along at home, do the step that I do, pause the video and do it on the second eye. Don't do one at a time. Another quick tip is when you apply your masking tape, make sure you're doing it in a full mirror, not in a little one like I do, to make sure that you're getting your lines exactly right, so that when you're colouring in, this line and this line will be nice and sharp and you're not going to end up with wonky lines anywhere. Okay, so we're going to get started. Usually I would pop up a picture of a palette, but unfortunately I'm not going to be using just one palette tonight, so I am going to be using a couple of different eyeshadows, but it doesn't really matter if you use exactly the same colours as I am, as long as you use the same method and the same kind of shades. You can use whatever palette you want. I am going to be using a lot of colours from the Beauty Glazed Over the Rainbow palette, and I'm going to be starting out with the nude colour that I love from the Gorgeous Me palette. I'm also going to be using the Central Silver colour here from the Beauty Glazed Neptune palette, and also one called Greek Goddess by Model's Own. So basically I'll show you the shades as I go along, but if you follow and use similar shades, you should be fine. I'm also tonight going to be using a liquid eyeliner, a black eyeliner and a green eyeliner. Now the green eyeliner is not essential. It's helpful to give you a guideline to work from, but that's it. Okay, so first of all, we're going to start with our primer. So I use this cream primer, which is by a company called O2, the spelling of the word, not the number, O, so O2O, and it's a fantastic cream primer. I love it. So if you can take a cream eyeshadow primer, which means if either your skin hasn't got too many fine lines, or your eyes aren't too hooded, then this lovely cream primer I would recommend over a liquid or anything else. But if you have more fine lines, go for the liquid, because this will sit on your fine lines, and obviously the intention is not to accentuate your fine lines but to hide them. Now obviously, as you can tell from my other eye, this is a bit of a statement eye. It's quite dramatic. I say quite, incredibly dramatic. So make sure you take your primer up quite high, because you're going to need quite a lot of space. And remember, the primer doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to put eyeshadow there, but it does mean that you're going to blend with it. So if we take it up too high, then in a mistake, then the primer will help us correct that mistake, because we can simply take a cotton bud and wipe, and the eyeshadow will come off along with the primer. So it's really good for helping get these precise lines. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to take our green eyeliner. Oh, and just before I start, I'm having a really bad day for allergies today. So if you want to play how many times does Beth blow her nose in this video game, starting now, this can be played one of two ways. The first one is you have to take a shot every time I blow my nose, but don't do your makeup at the same time. It's not going to end well for you. The second game you can play is give yourself a guess of how many times I end up blowing my nose through this video, and if you were right at the end of the video, give yourself a treat. Have a chocolate bar, have a glass of wine, do something special. Okay, so get your green eyeliner, and what you're going to do is you're going to start from just underneath your eye, on your under eye, and you're going to draw a line up along the line of the masking tape. Marking tape? I'm a teacher, I've got marking on the brain this month. And you're just going to draw a line up to the end of where it's going to go. So this is just going to give you an idea of how far to go when you're applying your eyeshadow and your liquid eyeliner later. But that's literally all you need it for. And the reason I say use a green eyeliner is obviously we're going to be using a green eyeshadow set, so this will blend in much more nicely than if we were to use a different colour. But if you don't have a green, go for the lightest colour you have, maybe a silver, or if you're feeling brave, don't do it at all. Okay, so we're going to start with the Gorgeous Me palette, and we're going to take this lovely nude shade here. And the reason we use this nude shade with our short shader brush 3 is to just set in place the primer that we put on in step 1. And this just gives a really nice even tone for our eyeshadow to go on. So the colour as you see it in the palette will be the same as the colour that you put onto your eye. Even if you've put on perfect foundation, our eyes do tend to have a lot of different colours on them because the skin is finer. So this will just give you a nice blank canvas to put the lovely colours on that you're going to come to. Now, you don't need to clean this brush because this is the only colour that we're going to use with the short shader brush 3. So we will come back to it later, but you don't need to clean it because it will be for the same colour. Okay, so now we're going to go to Beth's favourite brush, which is the medium shader brush 2. And this is where we take our Neptune palette, or basically any grey, and I'm going to be using this steel grey that's in the centre. So as you can see, it's quite a dark charcoaly kind of grey. It's not a shimmer, it's a matte. So as long as you've got a dark grey colour, kind of like a steely charcoal, you're fine. So always blow to make sure you've got the majority off of any pigment that might fall. And we're going to start by just taking it into the corner of our eye. So as you can see, it's grey, but it's not particularly dark. Sorry for one moment. Lita! No! Bad dog. Bad dog. She's not allowed to lick her scar. Well, the stitches. But she does. So if you hear me shouting, Lita, stop, it's that. Okay, so we're going to have to go back a couple of times, because if you're using the one that I'm using, the grey colour that I'm using, it's lovely, but it's a little light, and we want quite a defined look. So I'm going to go back a few times with this one. Hopefully the silver that you've got is slightly darker. But honestly, I was really shocked. Of all of the eyeshadow palettes I own, this is my only silver. I'm going to change that tomorrow. My husband won't approve, but tough. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is just take this under our eye, and we're going to create on the top of our eye a kind of V shape. So as you can see, I'm coming across the bottom and up the top. I'm going quite high up the top. Make sure you try and get it a similar matching shape and position to your other eye. Until you've got this nice kind of V shape. Now don't worry if it looks too messy at the start. As I always say, we're going to blend later and tidy up. So a little bit of mess, like whoops, I've just got extra shade here. Doesn't matter, it's going to go away. Okay. So that's enough of my silver for now. So now what you're going to do is clean that brush off, because we are going to be using this one a lot. So clean the brush off, make sure it's nice and dry, because you don't want to get water onto your eyeshadow palettes. The water will make them crack, and you definitely don't want cracked palettes. It really does take away how long the palette will last. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the Beauty Glazed Over the Rainbow palette, and we're going to take this lovely bright lime green at the top. It's really difficult to get the light green. This one. Nope, this one. Yay! I can do backwards, right and left. Okay, so we're going to take this lovely lime green colour here. And we're just going to put it into the gap in the V shape that you created, and continue the V shape sign. So you're going to go right down to the eyelash line and into the corner, staying underneath the top silver line, but filling in the gap. Okay, now you don't have to clean this brush yet, because we're going to stay with the same colour palette, but now we're going to turn the brush so you don't have the lime green. We're going to use this slightly darker green underneath. This one. Okay, so with this one we're going to do a similar thing. We're going to keep adding to the shape of the V shape. And then I'm going to bring it across a little bit so it blends in with the lime green that we put before. And this is what's going to give us this nice colour here. Make sure you take it right down to the eyelash line. But then you should end up this one with quite a strong straight line. Okay. Almost done. Okay, so now you are going to have to wash this brush, but it's okay, we don't need the over the rainbow palette again. So clean off your brush. Remember, always when you start this, make sure you have your warm cup of water with some No More Tears shampoo. It's the best way to clean off your brushes as you're going along. And oh my god, this masking tape just won't stick to my nose. It's because of all the nose blowing. Okay, so always have a makeup towel as well, one you don't mind getting a little eyeshadow on. And clear off any of the water so that when you touch it, it shouldn't be damp at all. And if it is damp, go back, dry it again. Like I said, we do not want water on our eyeshadow pigments. There is a time and a place for using water with eyeshadow, but I'll show you how to do that in a different video. We're not going to put it directly on the palette. Okay, so now I'm going to take my Greek Goddess by Model's Own. I'll see if I can find this one online to you, and I'll link in the description box if I can. Model's Own is a really nice, very, very cheap brand. I've got quite a few of their individual colour sets, and this was just €1, so like 90 pence, 80 pence maybe. I don't know what that is in dollars, maybe like 120. Okay, so this is the colour we're going to use quite a lot of. So remember that first green line that we coloured in if you had your green eyeliner? We're going to go back to that now, and we're going to go under the eye, and whoa, we can see how dark green that is. But that's what we're looking for. So now we're going to colour in the space that's free. And you're going to take the colour, you're going to need quite a lot of this dark green. You're going to take the colour and you're going to make it along the bottom of your lash line so it meets up with the silver. So you're leaving this nice bright colour here, but you're getting a kind of shape around with the green. And you should be bringing this to meet the silver at the top and at the bottom, but leaving this centre clear. Now with this one, obviously because it's a statement eye, do not be afraid of plastering it on, because we are going to blend as always. So at this stage what you really want to do is make sure you've got that thick colour on there so that when you blend it doesn't disappear completely. Okay. You don't need to clean that brush yet, because if we use it again it's going to be with the same dark green colour. So like the original nude one, don't need to clean it yet. Now we're going to move on to, take a shot ladies and gents. Why did I choose to move to a place where I have allergies literally all year round? All year. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the Eyelash and Eyebrow brush 12. And we're not using it for eyelashes or for eyebrows. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to go back to our silver colour now. And what you're going to do is from where the silver started, take it up and edge over the green. Right the way across. You may need to do this a couple of times depending on how strong your silver is. You're going to go across and you're going to edge the green right the way to the masking tape. So you've got this lovely silver line going across. I'm going to bring it down a little bit more for some definition. And we're going to do it on the under eye as well. Do you know what? I cannot wait to take off this masking tape. Hopefully not much longer. Okay, so now you've got your definition, silver colour, your definition, green colour, and now we're going to move on to our highlighter powder, which is what we're going to use for our blending. So then I can take off this masking tape. Okay, so again I will link to this this highlighter powder in the description box. It's called Get Gorgeous by a company called Technic, and again it's a really beauty on a budget kind of brand. I think this was like €2, €2.99, something like that. nothing I use is over €10. The most expensive one-off purchase I've ever bought is my mascara. I like Max Factor. It's a nice mid-range price. And technically the most expensive thing I've ever bought would be my Rude holographic stick, which is usually about £13–14, and I would never spend that much money on it, but it was 80% off in a sale, so I was like, yeah, should have bought two. Okay, so we've got our highlighting powder, stick, masking tape, stick. And now we're going to dab it over, and when I say dab, I mean dab. So we're going to dab it over our silver colour, just our silver colour. We do not want to touch that lovely bright green in the middle. We're going to dab it over the silver. Up to our eyebrow line, so it gives us something to blend into. And just keep going until the colour matches the colour of your first eye, or if you're doing this step by step, and until they both look the same. Okay, now put a little, not much, a little on that nice dark green. Remember what I said, dab, we're not brushing, okay? We want to just deposit some colour there so that when we blend, it blends smoothly. Plus it's nice to have some shimmer. Okay, so finally we come to blending. So we're going to take our blending brush 7, yay! Honestly, this is the only brush I think I use correctly. So we're going to start in the inner centre of our eye. And we're just going to blend, 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 blend here. And out. Because remember, we want to keep that lovely green colour. So blend the centre. But very gently, tiny, fast little brush strokes. That's all you want. But we just want to take it so that that nice line, that definition line that we put, isn't so stark. It's nicely blended in. Backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. I mean, I love putting on pretty makeup and I love showing you guys how to put it on. But I do kind of understand why the bright young things do it like in like some montage editing stuff that my Gen X self cannot handle. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just using a cotton tip now just to clear up the top. Like I said, if we've used the primer there, it's much easier because it blends into the primer better. But I'm now happy that that's the same. Okay, so now we're going to come to our liquid eyeliner, and then I can finally remove the masking tape. So we're going to take our liquid eyeliner, and this is quite dramatic. So we're going to start from underneath our eye towards our lower lash line on our lower eye, and then use the masking tape as your guide. Doesn't matter if you go over the masking tape, because once you remove it, obviously you're going to have a nice straight line. Now, because this is quite a dramatic look, I am probably going to have to go backwards and forwards a couple of times. So you want to take it right to the top of the edge of where your eyeshadow was, or is. So that you've got this gap in here. Follow it right the way across, and then colour in. Okay. Bring it across your eye. Don't worry if it looks quite thick, because remember we didn't clean our medium shader brush too. There's a reason for that. Okay, so we're going to now take it into the corner of our inner eye. Just small strokes to connect the two. And then a little triangle in the corner of your inner eye, just to change the shape of your eye a little, to give you that cat-like pointy eye. Okay, and now bye-bye eyeliner, and most of all, bye-bye masking tape. Now, as you can see, I am left with a nice straight line and lots of colour on my masking tape. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cotton bud. I'm just going to clean up where all of that green pigment fell, because it kept falling off. Now, another sharp. Now this is a good point to tell you what to do if this happens to you, if you get pigment falling on your face. Take concealer, dab the concealer where you had the pigment fall. Take a cotton bud and use the concealer as a kind of makeup remover. And as you can see from the tip, if it focuses on the tip instead of me, it will take up the green colour as well, and because you've used a concealer, it will cover up anything that you've got left. Now, as you can see, this side is a lot darker than this side, and that's because we're going to go back to our medium shader brush 2, and we're going to go back to that last green, the dark green colour that we used, and we're just going to dab over the top of the liquid eyeliner to tone down the colour. I probably should have waited to do the pigment catch colour correct. Oh well. Okay, so you're just going to put enough of that on until you feel that you have toned down the dark black as much as you want it to. And this is optional. If you want the really strong black colour, then go for it. But I'm wanting a more green colour, and the winged tip eyeliner is just for definition. So I want to tone down the colour quite a lot. To be honest, if I had got a dark green ink eyeliner, then I probably would have used that rather than black. That's 2 things I have to buy: silver eyeshadow in a variety of shades and a green ink eyeliner. My husband's out at the moment, he won't know. He doesn't watch these videos. Okay, so I've toned that down now Just going to quickly take that there, give that some more colour. So I've turned down the liquid eyeliner, so now it's more of a kind of shade underneath my green. And now I'm just going to, again, clean up. It is necessary if you do this trick to make sure you clean your primer, your concealer brush afterwards, because otherwise the next time you use it you're going to have green where your concealer should be, which is fine if you're going for a green look, but if you're not going for a green look, going to be a bit weird. Okay, then the last thing you're going to need before we do our mascara is a black eyeliner. And what we're going to do with this is just take the eyeliner into the lash line so it doesn't go over the silver and the green, but it just accentuates. I promise I'm not drunk, and I promise I can speak English, but something tonight is just messing with my pronunciation. I think it's stress about my dog, but hey. Okay, so we're going to take it into the centre of our eye, up to meet that nice pointy cat's eye that we gave it. We're not going to go into our eye here, because that will gather in the corner eventually and run, but we do want to take it into our lash line. Okay, so now all we have left to do is mascara, so I will be back in about 10 minutes. Go get yourself a drink, do something nice, or put on your own mascara. See you in a moment. And I'm back, and the mascara is on. So there are just a couple more steps, and then I'm going to try something that I haven't tried before, so fingers crossed it might work. So remember I mentioned that expensive thing that I bought and I should have bought two of? The Rude holographic stick. When you're going to do a statement eye, let's go all out. Let's not pretend that we haven't got quite a lot of makeup on. Let's make sure that we get the most out of our look, and what we're going to do is use the Rude holographic stick and just dab it onto your cheekbones, underneath your eye, following the line of the eyeliner that you put on before. You should be able to see it flashing a little bit. Now it's quite bright, so you want to just, in little circles, rub it into your skin a little bit so it's not as bright as it looks when you put it on your skin. You want it blended a little bit, but you can just use your finger and thumb to that, and then blend it up to the line of your eyeliner so it's following that, because obviously that's what we want to highlight, that and this part of our cheek here. And then to fix that in place, take your highlighter powder and this funny fan brush thing, again I'll link the brushes in the description, and just to set that in place, a little fan of the highlighter powder, so we get that shimmer right into here, into our cheeks. Now, I have said before that I am not a fan of, if you're doing a big statement eye, of doing lips as well. But with that said, I think if you're going to go all out dramatic look like this, let's have a try with some lips. So, sticking to the theme, I have my green eyeliner and my silver eyeliner. And I'm going to give a green and silver lip look a go to go with my green and silver eyes. So when you're putting on lipstick or lip liner or anything like that, remember eyeliner can be used as well, or eyebrow pencil. You see, you walk into a shop to buy an eyeliner and you'll see an eyeliner and an eyebrow pencil and a lip liner. they're pretty much all the same thing. I mean, I don't know if I'd use certain lip liners on my eye, but I certainly would use any eyeliner on my lips. So yeah, if you can't find the shade of lip liner you want, have a look at eyeliners. Have a look at eyebrow pencils. They're essentially, eyebrow pencils and eyeliners are essentially the same thing. It's just the eyebrow pencil comes with a little flicky bit on the end. Where is it? That bit. Like the mascara wand to put your eyebrows in place. So don't waste your money on two things. If you're going to buy a brown eyeliner, find one that matches your eyebrows and use it for both. I do. Okay, so I'm going to take my green eyeliner and I'm going to show you a trick for getting that really nice pointy Cupid's bow. So do this with your lips. And build up the M shape at the top. And then keep taking it up and up. It doesn't matter if you go above your natural lip line, and I'll show you why in a second. But you want to make sure it's a perfect, really nice pointy M. And make sure you have this distinctive gap in the middle. Okay, so when you think you've got a decent enough M shape, we're going to take that lovely concealer that we took before, make this face, and dab a line straight down from your nose. Now it looks really silly right now, but then you're going to take a cotton bud, blend in and across, and as you can see, you get this nice defined shape at the top. Oh, and for anyone counting, while I was doing my mascara, 3 nose blows. 3. So I think I'm on about 7 now. Who knows? Well, hopefully you may have been counting. If someone could tell me in the comments box how many times I blowed my nose this video, that'd be great. Okay. So now we've got that concealer there to give us that extra definition. We're going to finish off going around our lips. If you want to go further up and make them higher, you can. Okay, and then when we come to doing the outline of our lips, go over a little, but don't go too high. Cupid's bow you can take as high as you like. unless you take it up here, that would look silly. But try and stick to more or less your natural lip line for the rest of your lips. And the same is true for below. So here, you can go under. But for the rest, try and stick to your natural lip line. Okay, so now I'm just going to quickly colour in the centre. I think I just drew on my teeth. Okay, and when you feel you've got enough colour deposited there, gently use your finger to even out the tone. Okay, so now I'm going to take my silver and I'm just going to put some of that in the centre to give it some shimmer. Okay, and then finally I'm going to go back to my green. Take up my Cupid's bow a little more. And then, this is the fun part, we are going to find Beth's favourite brush, and I am going to grab from my Over the Rainbow palette this lovely shimmer green here in the centre, and this is either going to be wonderful or terrible, who knows. A little more, but I think it's going to be wonderful. And then I'm going to take a darker green that's a little further down in the palette and just edge the top of the Cupid's bow for some definition, and at the bottom for the same reason. And now you're probably thinking, but Beth, this is not going to stay on. And you're right, it won't. The first time you eat or drink something with this kind of makeup on your lips, it's going to disappear. Unless you use your fixing spray. So this should be done for your whole face, because we've done our eyes, our cheeks and our lips. So hair back and out the way. Hold your fixing spray about 6 to 12 inches away from your face. Eyes closed. Keep your eyes closed every time. It tastes horrible. Keep your eyes closed for a few seconds because you don't want it in your eyes. Now it will feel damp straight away, so do not touch your face until it dries off. But this is a mattifying one that I've used, so it will dry off quite quickly. You won't feel damp at all. And then the last thing I'm going to do to top off my look this evening is I'm going to take some Miracle Oil by Fructus, by Garnier, and I'm just going to take one pump in my hands and going to pop some in my hair, focusing on the ends. Now, I've got really fine hair, and oil for me is usually a no-go because it just makes me look like a greasy mess. But this miracle oil really is miracle oil. It just softens your hair, it makes it smell lovely, and it doesn't make your hair greasy at all. So I really recommend, if you've got fine hair and you're worried about hair oils, Miracle Oil by Garnier. It's cheap, it's fantastic. And that is our look, which I think I'm going to call Snake Eyes. So I'm just going to come in so that you can see the colours up close. And that is Snake Eyes. So thank you very much to Be More Feegle. A particular shout out to Tara, because she was the one who chose these colours ultimately, and I love them. And if you want me to do a colour combo in the future, please drop a comment in the boxes below with any colours that you want. So for example, colours you've got laying around the house that you're scared to use perhaps, and you want me to try them out for you first. Happy to do that. Leave a comment with the colours you have and I will come up with a look for you. I hope you've enjoyed today. Check the box for the description of the products that I've used and links to both Amazon UK and Amazon US, depending on where you are if you want to purchase any of the makeup that I've used today. I really do recommend the Beauty Glazed palettes. They are just amazing. Take care, guys. Have a lovely evening or afternoon or whatever time it is that you're watching this. I'll see you next time. Bye.